think you're above the law. But I'm not the law. So you should start running, because I'm going to start hunting. And when I find you, I'm going to kill you all.
Welcome to another episode of Red Reviews. That's right, we're back. It is fall movie season. There's that weird dead zone between August, where we had Suicide Squad, and then so the end of summer blockbuster season, which was Suicide Squad, and then like the start of the fall movie season, which I consider right about this time here. So with Jack Reacher, Never Go Back, which is the movie we saw today. So there's been nothing really to see in the past 2 months or so. So that's where I've been. And people ask me where you've been. How come you're not watching any movies? It's very unlike you to not watch any movies. There just hasn't been anything really worth watching. Plus, they gutted my theater. It was bought out by a new corporation called B&B Theaters, and the old theater, it had just seats from the 80s, so there was no padding in them. We're talking like the projectors had bulbs that were burnt out, so like we couldn't watch the previews because apparently those parts run on a different bulb than the actual movie that's played. So as I learned all this stuff, I was like, how come I can hear him but I can't see him? Like, oh, we can't afford new bulbs. So had that going on. We had like backed up restrooms. We had just sticky, filthy, grungy, just conditions. The 3D would give you a headache. It was just awful conditions that we had to sit through to just see a movie. So it was bought out by B&B Theaters. Now we have like fun leather reclining seats. I remember I got them today, my first time, and I pressed the button. I'm just like, oh, watch out. So we have, like self-serve popcorn stations now. Just dump as much butter on it as you want. Hot dogs and nachos and beer and wine. And we got the cool digital posters outside each theater. There's less seats in the theater because we got the huge recliners, but it's awesome. I've never been where I had to like choose my own seat when I bought my ticket, so that's exciting. Is like kind of has to learn the layout once again of where I like to sit because every seat's like what 2 seats, So I'm glad we get to watch movies like normal human beings now, like the normal lazy people we like to be. So, at that point, it's like, man, for $9.75 and the conditions I was in, I was like, I can just download it online. I can do my review at home. I can just watch some grungy bootleg copy. But now I actually have good conditions. So hopefully that will. I don't know if that will sway reviews. It's not going to sway the review for Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. So let's get right into it. Jack Reacher 2, Jack Reacher Never Go Back. I wish Jack Reacher had never went back. And I hate to say that because I like the first Jack Reacher. I really do. I like the concept of this guy coming into town. Nobody knows where he comes from, what he does. He's more than just a legend, but he just comes with like lint in his pocket. Like the Joker, he's got no tags on any of his clothes. He shops at Goodwill. He just wants to live off the grid, but he's just ultra smart and he knows every angle. And he's Tom Cruise. Basically, that's how I imagine Tom Cruise is in real life. But the first Jack Reacher, I really enjoyed, and that's why this one it was extra disappointing. So let's start to break it down. The plot of this movie. I always try to explain the plot of these convoluted stories to you guys in my videos, and this one may be the hardest one yet. Let's just say Cobie Smulders' character is arrested for treason, and they got to clear her name. There you go. I'm just going to leave it at that because it's got it full of twists and turns and this, that, and the other. But in blatant and simple terms, that's it. So we'll leave it at that. The story is just a mess, though. Like it's boring. That's the movie. I yawned, and I don't think that's because of the leather reclining seats. I was in the laid back position. I wanted to go to sleep. I was just bored. I was bored by this movie, and that's sad because the first one was really entertaining, and it turns into like a buddy road trip movie at one point, and it was just boring. And he's got a daughter. They have to bring in a daughter. And when I say daughter in an action movie, she's going to get kidnapped. That's their sole purpose. And that is her sole purpose in this movie. She actually has no other purpose except for the kidnapping. Because you have to watch the movie, and I'll do the best I can. So there's going to be spoilers ahead. But so we learn in the first one. And the first movie sets the ground rules for the rest of the movies to follow. A guy with no emotional ties. He doesn't like people. So he doesn't date. He doesn't have a girlfriend or a wife or any of this. He doesn't have any emotional attachment to anyone. He established that in the first movie with Rosamund Pike kind of coming onto him, and he just kind of shoos her away. So here we are at the beginning of this one. He talks to Cobie Smulders a few times on the phone. I think he's feeling some kind of romantic connection because he wants to go to Washington, D.C. He wants to take her out to dinner, which is convenient timing since that's when she gets arrested for treason. He's like, well, Jack Reacher's here, so he might as well just save the day. I was like, so it's just weird how he's brought in. At least in the first one, the guy that's allegedly have shot the people had asked for Jack Reacher, so that's why he knew. He was there to make sure that that guy was put away. He had an emotional investment in that story. In this one, he just shows up at very convenient timing, and then he learns that he has a daughter, which doesn't serve the story at all. So, okay, so this guy that doesn't like emotional attachment, all of a sudden, he wants an emotional attachment at the very beginning of this movie, Kobe Smulders, and he has a daughter, so apparently he had an emotional attachment in the past, and so he's like, oh, now you're just breaking all these rules. So now he has to look out for these people. He has to take these people and protect them. And it's like, oh. And the first one made such a big deal about him being alone. He's always alone. He works better alone. Now here he is. He has to watch Kobe Smulders, and he has to watch this other teenage girl. It's like, well, now he's not alone anymore, and now he can't really operate as the best he could in the first one. So the story is just a mess. Like I said, it turns into a road trip movie at one point. There are scenes in there for literally no reason. I did that at one point because they have to hide the girl because she's being hunted down. So where are we going to put this girl? Well, Kobe Smulders' character, she went to one of those upscale girl schools. So like, oh, we can hide her there. The headmistress owes me one. Well, she really, really, really likes me. So they have to take their road trip. So they get the gang together in this minivan. They drive to a mall, into a clothing store, and they're picking her out a skirt and a shirt so she can blend in with the rest of the kids. And that scene goes nowhere. Then they go to the school, and they're at the school for 45 seconds. It's got to be no more than a minute. And the girl gets a text message, and then Jack Reacher gets mad because like, you got a phone with her? How long you been texting? They can track that. We got to go. And then they're gone. And I was like, what the hell was the point of that? If there wasn't a point to go to the school, then there wasn't a point to go to the mall. And then you realize that the daughter had pickpocketed one of the girls, and they had the Visa card. So now they can use that to buy a plane ticket. And that is why the last 15 minutes of the movie existed, so that they can get credit cards. Jack Reacher couldn't steal credit cards. There couldn't be any other way to write that around. Anywhere else that we had to go shopping, we had to go to a preppy school. It's like, oh my, what is going on? There has to be another way that Jack Reacher could have wrote that differently. The whole daughter thing, in the end, spoilers, we're going to talk about the ending. It's not even really his daughter, and she knew it the whole time. Well, so what was the point? If you're going to go down this entire path of being like, I have to protect her. She's my daughter. I have to protect her. She's the only kin that I have, and now I have to care about her. And at the end, she's like, you're not my father. I know you're not my father. She's like, you remember my mother? He's like, I think so. I think she's like, oh, well, she's the girl that's been serving you coffee because they're eating in a diner. She served you coffee 3 times. Like, see, you guys didn't even recognize each other. You don't know. I lied that you're not my father. And it's like, so what? That entire emotional attachment was just thrown out the window? So why was the daughter in the movie at all? That character could have been removed from the story, and it could have just flowed better because that whole storyline just bogged them down with, we got to go clothes shopping, we got to find a place to stash her, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to try and have emotional bonding. But to have all that emotional bonding and then have him throw it in your face at the end that it's not really his daughter, it's like, so you're taking that away from him and the audience? Even if you were invested in that storyline, you're going to rob it from us? I don't. So, and then at the end, it's just like, well, maybe we can still be friends. So she slips a phone in his pocket, and he's walking down the road and, trying to get a ride. And she texts him, and it says, miss me yet? Question mark, question mark, question mark. And I was like, well, now it's just weird because you're not his daughter. You're like 15 years old, and now you're text, miss me yet? Winky face. I was like, don't text Tom Cruise. Why isn't that? Now it's just weird because he's an older man, you're a younger girl, and now you have no connection other than the fact that now you're just texting buddies. And I guess the thing is now he has like someone he can talk to, an emotional ground if he ever gets lonely. But I don't know. It was boring. So that's really the main thing that I can hit for you guys. Don't waste your time on Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. If you're a Tom Cruise, like if you're a diehard Tom Cruise fan, you're like, I have to see everything that Tom Cruise is in, then go watch Jack Reacher. I'm going to give it a D because Tom Cruise kept it alive as best he could. Kobe Smulders, I love her in The Avengers. She's a good actress. She looked bored in this movie. The daughter didn't do. The actress wasn't very good, and like I said, that part could have been removed. I didn't buy any of the bad guys, and I can't even name any of the bad guys. And the story was convoluted. So if it wasn't for Tom Cruise, I would give it an F. But his charisma just lifted up just a little bit in some scenes, so I can give it a D. If you're a huge Tom Cruise fan, go watch Jack Reacher. Otherwise, I cannot tell you guys, go out and watch it. I'm saying, going to save your $9.75 or whatever it costs at your local cinema. Save it for something else. Go rent a much better movie. Go rent the first Jack Reacher if you haven't seen it. Go watch that instead, but steer clear of the second one. And I will catch you guys next time right here on Red Reviews. Like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.